in charge of artillery coalition, alongside the USA in the person of Miss Laura Cooper, Secretary Assistant Secretary of Defense. You have before you Caesar cannon, the flagship of French artillery, but also of an increasing number of partner countries within what we call the Caesar Club, and also now of Ukrainian artillery. Through the donations we have already made, 30 Caesar cannons coming from France and 19 from Denmark. This first donation will be completed in 24 through the French offer of 78 new Caesar cannons for Ukrainian artillery. They will be delivered in 24 and financed by France, Ukraine, Denmark, and every volunteer nation. In fact, the operational superiority of this gun is based on its range of 40 kilometers, its high accuracy, its mobility and stealth ability, which contribute to its protection, and a wide variety of tactical effects, thanks to a panel of shells compliant to NATO standards and qualified by our French National Procurement Agency. What we must understand, Caesar is not only a gun, a single cannon. It is a part of a capability dimension. It's why within the artillery coalition we are developing this capability approach through our organization in 4 syndicates: weapon systems, munition, environment, and training. The first works of the artillery coalition highlighted the very immediate and long-term priorities for Ukrainian artillery. They are mainly, at first, obviously, munitions, and just after, spare parts, training of gun crews, but also of maintenance experts and artillery officers. We will welcome training for artillery officers within our branch school, especially in Draguignan or in Angers too. And last thing, we must improve the command and control system in order to create short loops between sensors and launchers. And obviously, we must, as said Mr. Chamussi just before, we need to develop industrial partnerships in order to develop local production capacities directly on the field. In this sense, France supports the Czech Republic initiative to provide Ukraine with 800,000 shells, while confirming our own offer of 3,000 shells, with the aim to reach up to 80,000 shells in 24. If you consider what is a shell, please join the table. We must understand that a shell is not only this. We must add the fuse, the propellant charges, and the primary explosives. And it's why in the very current context of tension about powders and propellant charges, we need every support, and the position of France, it is the necessity to build industrial capacities within NATO countries and within Europe especially. And obviously we will welcome every support in this area. Mr. Secretary, I leave you the floor.
Thank you very much, General. Sebastien? Are we going, I think, over here? Thank you. Well, let me begin by thanking the Defense Minister for receiving us today, but more than today, for the extraordinary partnership that France, the United States, and so many other countries have developed in support of Ukraine, helping them resist the Russian aggression that continues to this day. I think what Minister Lecornu, Secretary Austin, and others have built is truly extraordinary. both in providing the artillery systems, the munitions, the air defenses that up until now have helped ensure that Ukraine could resist and resist effectively this Russian aggression. I have not seen in the 30 or so years that I've been involved in these issues a better example of burden sharing between the United States and its partners than the one we see in Ukraine. Together, for as much as the United States has provided, our European partners and other partners from well beyond Europe, because of the global nature of this challenge, have provided even more. But even as we've accomplished all of this, and even as Russia has suffered what I believe to be a strategic debacle in Ukraine, it's weaker militarily, it's weaker economically, it's weaker diplomatically. Ukraine is more united than ever before. Europe has taken itself off of the dependence on Russian energy, and our NATO alliance is both stronger and now bigger by 2 members. And of course, Ukraine, which many predicted would fall in a matter of days, continues to stand strong. But we are at a critical moment where it is absolutely essential to get Ukrainians what they continue to need to defend themselves, particularly when it comes to munitions and air defenses. And so there's a near-term challenge that we're working together to meet. It's another reason why the supplementary budget request that President Biden has made to Congress must be fulfilled as quickly as possible. It's needed now. It's needed urgently. But it's also an investment in ourselves. And what we've been talking about today, besides the immediate challenges for Ukraine, is the work that both of our countries are doing, and where France is a real leader, as in so many other areas, in building back and strengthening our defense industrial base. Because unfortunately, the challenges that we're seeing in Ukraine are not going to go away tomorrow. And we have to make sure that we have the means not only to continue to help Ukraine, but to make sure our own defenses are as strong as possible. But these investments in the defense industrial base are also investments in ourselves. And I'll just conclude by saying that, again, when it comes to the supplemental budget request, virtually all of the money requested for defense articles for Ukraine will be invested in the United States to produce what's needed. So we look to Congress to act quickly and swiftly and effectively, just as our European partners have continued to act so effectively when it comes to Ukraine. Sebastien.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Secrétaire d'État, cher Antony. Merci d'avoir accepté le principe de cette visite ici à KNDS, déjà parce qu'on accueille un ami de la France qui parle un français absolument remarquable et dont une partie de votre cœur, de votre adolescence et de votre jeune enfance s'est faite ici à Paris. Et je sais que vous avez beaucoup de plaisir à revenir à chaque fois en France. Et nous, Français, nous avons beaucoup de plaisir, à titre personnel, à vous accueillir. Donc je tenais déjà à vous le dire. Donc, merci de passer par KNDS, qui est le cœur de ce que nous cherchons à faire dans le cadre de cette coalition artillerie entre la France et les États-Unis depuis maintenant de nombreux mois. Vous l'avez rappelé, dans le cadre de l'initiative de l'UCDG qui a été pilotée depuis la base de Ramstein, Lloyd Austin a lancé un certain nombre de coalitions sur lesquelles la France a tout de suite répondu présent. Il s'agissait pour nous évidemment d'être efficaces, complémentaires dans notre aide à l'Ukraine, à 360 degrés, la formation, les équipements, l'entretien de ces équipements et bien sûr les munitions. Et là on le voit bien dans un moment critique où il faut faire preuve d'endurance dans ce soutien à l'Ukraine, endurance budgétaire, endurance capacitaire et industrielle. Et je tiens vraiment à remercier, cher Nicolas, l'ensemble des équipes de KNDS qui ont su relever le défi de la fiabilité dans la parole que la France a pu donner à l'Ukraine et dans le cadre des initiatives partenariales que nous menons ensemble avec nos amis américains. Ça a été dit, ce canon César, il est devenu le symbole de cette coalition artillerie, avec une augmentation significative des capacités de production, 2 par mois, désormais 6 par mois, et peut-être donner ce chiffre qui n'a jamais été donné publiquement, mais qui a été présenté par les équipes de KNDS à Antony il y a quelques instants. Nous allons rehausser la production jusqu'à 12 canons par mois de canons César dans les temps qui viendront. En tout cas, les canons, pièces d'artillerie qui vont sur le châssis de ce canon César, ce qui va montrer justement notre capacité à répondre présent, non seulement aux besoins de l'Ukraine, mais, cher Antony, également à tous les partenaires européens, membres de l'OTAN, qui sont en train d'arriver à leurs 2% du PIB, qui sont en train d'acquérir des systèmes d'armes pour eux-mêmes contribuer à la défense et à la dissuasion collective de l'ensemble de l'OTAN. Et c'est évidemment aussi un enjeu clé pour nos industries de défense que d'y répondre favorablement dans un cadre d'interopérabilité dont je forme le vœu qu'il soit aussi un des grands points d'aboutissement du sommet de Washington que nous aurons prochainement pour l'anniversaire de la construction de l'Alliance. On va continuer sur les munitions. Quel enjeu clé, essayer évidemment d'accéder à des stocks de poudre, nous-mêmes être en capacité de reproduire des poudres nous-mêmes sur le territoire national. Nous tirons évidemment des conclusions très opérationnelles de tout ce qui a pu